Great night, my kings and queens. Wake up and be authentic. On a done noise and a girl authentic. Queen Simone, come for drop some authentic spiritual reasoning of the night here. So I could just go straight up into it. Now tonight we're going to talk about the topic of you cannot rehearse authenticity. Let me repeat. You cannot rehearse authenticity. Authenticity is not a dress rehearsal. It's not an audition. And even if it was an audition, you have to apply within. Authenticity, you can't fake it. You can't rehearse it. You know why? Because authenticity is a spontaneous expression of one's true self. Yeah. When you see kid, let me break it down and explain it to you. When you say all kids very authentic, Kids authentic until them parents tell them don't do that. The other day, I think it was New Year's, and my sister called me for make my nephew them tell me Happy New Year. When them call me now, I say I go wash my ear. So I take off the afro ear and I comb back my real ear. Just comb it back, go back. When them come to say Happy New Year, them outspoken one, the youngest one, when him look at me on the video, he was like, so what wrong with your head? Before him could have said Happy New Year, he was being spontaneous. Because he knows I always have an afro ear. So when time I take it off, he means like, we don't know if your head looks so. No, sometimes the human being, when human grow up, them everything in their mind for say it, but them not gonna say it. I'll just use that as a little example. For show you, kids, they're more outspoken. They're gonna tell you the truth. If you don't look good, they're gonna tell you say you don't look good. If you something don't look good, they say you look pretty today. Them speak and them don't know right from wrong until somebody tell them not to do it. So what we do, we grow up and we learn how to suppress all of our feelings, all of our emotions, because we want to be accepted and to be liked by others. But let me tell you this, and I always say it, better to be hated for who you are than to be liked for who you're not. You see, people might not like you, but you see, respect goes a long way, and them can respect you for what you stand for. And sometimes the people them we don't really like the most, sometimes them annoy us the most, sometimes them are the people them where want somebody really set up people them on the face of the earth. Everybody have different personalities. Everybody have different way of thinking, the way how them interpret things, either that come from childhood or whatever. But whatever you do, just know so you can't rehearse authenticity. You can't rehearse it. You can't fake it. You can't front all you want. But the universe are going to respond to the real you and not the one that you pretend to be. No one is holding us hostage by being ourselves, and we are all ourselves hostage, Because look now, we only accept ourselves when society say it is right to accept ourselves. For example, somebody see me and tell me so they would be that confident to call themselves queen. I said, I am not waiting on society to tell me that I am a queen. I am not going to wait until I enter a competition and be crowned to be called a queen. And when I call myself queen, it's not a cliche word. I call myself queen when I discovered my true beauty. When I think I did ugly and then I discover my true beauty, I call myself queen to myself. I never tell anybody yet. And until long after, I said it to somebody. And them was like, oh, queen living in Jamaica. And I'm like, do you know that you're a king? And he was like, oh no. And I said, okay, that's why you can't accept me as a queen, because you don't value yourself as a king. But let me tell you this, as of today, you are a king. Because when you look upon king and queens and all these things, it's just competition come to mind. Or let's say Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth a queen. Some of you say, oh, Queen Elizabeth become queen. What should they do? Should they enter a competition? No. But them value themselves to the point and them call themselves royal dignitary and them build up them empire and them something and them hierarchy and all of these things. Some of you say, so why me can't call myself queen? But not because she called for herself queen. My queen is not about the title queen or like say entering something to be called queen, or being in an organization or hierarchy or one name to be called queen. My queen and my crown, I consider from my perspective, is my authenticity. And nobody cannot take my queendom from me unless I give them permission to do so. I sleep with it, I use the toilet with it, I bathe with it. That's my crown, my authenticity, which is loving and accepting myself for who I am, irrespective of what other persons might say about me. So you cannot rehearse this thing. It's inside of you, but we suppress it. You see, nowadays in social media, anybody can come and fake a gesture through them know so the camera is on. Anybody can do that. So you have persons who are strategic and calculated. And they just do things to give you the impression. But you see, behind closed door, when you ever meet them, the real you, you know, they inside and the real you, you know, is when nobody now watch you and nobody now look for you, you know. Yeah? And right now, if you're not being your authentic self, it's not too late to tap into self. That's why the authentic queen is here to help you with that. To help you to march into yourself and tap into your inner self. We don't tap into self, we tap outside of self. Because guess what, me know? When you look past self, you know, and you say, let me look past society. And you look on society and say, society and myself not match. But if me go do that and act like that, them never condemn me. Not knowing that majority of these persons who set the rule, who setting up for it on themselves, them have imperfections too. What they have over a lot of us is just money and title and power. And then we see them with money and title and believe that, oh, they are more powerful than us because they have money. You can have it too. We can tap into self. All right, look now. Somebody asked me one day what I think about the Prime Minister. I said, I'm telling you something. I'm not going to say the Prime Minister is good or is bad, but here is the problem. I think he's in the wrong position. I think the Prime Minister is more goal-oriented and more business-minded. Yes, it's okay to have somebody who deal with business to run the country. But you know, to run a country, you have to really genuinely care for people because the people you deal with. It's not about building houses and building this and that. You have to genuinely care for people and love people. Not for suit your need when election come, you put on clocks and bike and go down and eat with people and shake them and act like you're down to earth and chop to coconut water. Just for the moment, you have to genuinely like people. You don't only like people when it's convenient to you. And I said to them, politicians were not trained to love people. They were trained to win election. That's what it's all about. So you have to care for yourself, tap into yourself and rely on yourself. Because they're not going to come and rely on you. So instead of I vote every day and I vote every year and I say, oh my God, and I vote. And I say, oh my God, them people here, you know, them wicked and so forth. Pay attention to people. Observe. The reason why he got elected as Prime Minister is because they don't want somebody young, somebody fresh. So that was the reason, you know, but we don't pay attention. The reason for say, oh, the first young Prime Minister or, oh, the party did a pop down, so we need somebody who fresh and young and to appeal to the young people. But if you watch people's character, and when the next election come now, we're not going to come and we're not going to vote. Watch the character and see, and then you will know they cannot change. Because authenticity cannot be erased. He's not a bad person. He cannot genuinely relate and connect to the inner city people. He's not from there. Even if him go to St. Catherine High School or the high school over so or wherever high school him go. I remember them say one of them high school over Portman. I'm probably wrong. Even if him go to one of them high school, in a theme core, in a theme self, him really can't relate. Him never hungry. Him don't know how hungry feel. Not like him come from uptown also. But did you know that you have persons in the ghetto who never hungry yet? You have people in the ghetto who never hungry yet. You have people in the ghetto where actually doing well for them mother, a teacher, nurse, them a family, a foreigner, send barrel come give them regular. Them go to Disney World. Come, they have a girl that live right in front of our yard where she go at Disney World very, 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 very often. And she live in the ghetto. A fair yard at the yard where they go take picture because she live in a zinc up house. You forgot a pretty yard where they live in the ghetto. You have persons who never hungry, so they cannot relate. You cannot relate to people if you and them don't go through the same thing. He cannot fake it. So even if him do a strategy for coming in the ghetto, wear clocks, when him go remember take it off, that's not his style of shoes. That's not his kind of shoes. And if him shoes them there. You know, if he boot them one time, him go in corporate setting in them corporate meeting. Is he a wrong person or is he a bad person? Not no. But he was strategically placed there to lift up the party. So that is how I feel. But guess what? Him real self I will come back. After the election done, him now going to do one thing with him say, guys, that is not him. Him cannot fake it. No care him try. No care how you try for fake yourself, you cannot fake it. No matter what, you can try, you can front, you can do all the way you want. You have to always go back to self. And if you keep on suppressing self, you're going to be spiritually miserable. What do you mean by that, Queen, when you say spiritually miserable? Spirituality, as I always say, is not about being scriptural or biblical or churchical. It's really about tapping into one inner self, connecting with the divine presence that lives within you. What's the divine presence in you? Your authenticity, your core. Connect with the universe because the universe responds to authenticity. That is the reason why the universe know you. God know you. Look in at the Jesus story. When Peter come and say, I'm going to stand with you. I'm going to be there for you. Peter don't know himself, but God know him. Jesus know him. So Jesus said, Peter, before the night end, the cracker will crow 3 times. You're not going to come stand up for me. Peter said, no, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be there for you. Jesus knows, say, Peter, a coward. He's not a bad person, but Jesus knows, say, when mix-up time come and things come, Peter are going to be the first one for run because him observing, but Peter did not know who he was. And it was in that moment when them say, Peter, you know, he was with Jesus. Him, no, I don't know him. Then the cock crowed. That is when Peter becomes self-aware. But Jesus forgive him because Jesus know who he was. Jesus knows him did have a betray, but Jesus knows him have a heart, you know. Him is not a bad person, you know. It's just that him coward. Somehow we are coward because me not gonna lie, sometimes he get coward to and sometimes he brave to certain things. That is just accepting self and know. But for say, oh, me I go there for you know you're not gonna there for the person because whenever things come, you are gonna run. That's what Jesus, you see, Peter never knew himself. Now Judas. Jesus read up Judas long time. Because when Judas was introducing himself to Jesus, do you know what Judas said? Judas him born from this and that, and him father big this and tap that and ray. And him father tell him not for work, and him son and not for get dirty, something to that nature there. And then Jesus look on him and say, you can't tell a tree by the fruit it bear. Jesus knows that him did gonna betray him. Because Jesus knows him all about money, and Judas was all about money, and Judas was all about business. So he must sell you out big time. And then when Jesus said somebody are gonna betray him say, oh, and then Jesus said the man who dip him hand in this with me, him are gonna betray me. And him dip him hand in it, and him betray him for true. Jesus don't know say him gullible and him weak to money. Him know say them something that be a business him deal with. Because him hear him talk, based on how him talk, him know say I saw him stay. That's when him come and introduce himself. Be a big degree and be a big dad. Nothing else about self. That's your degree is not who he is. The only that alone him a focus on. So I want to see somebody all about, always talking about that is all about that. Trust me, them will sell you out. When an opportunity come, they will sell you out. When an opportunity come to get money, they will sell you out. Peter did just afraid for dead. But Jesus forgive him and him find self. You know, see, oh, Jesus, give the aisle for 19 feet. A prostitute. Why? Because he saw her character. She was a prostitute. That is what she did. But he saw her character. That she was going to be loyal. She was the one who come and recognized him and accept him for who he was. And she come and she wash off him feet and use her tears, even though I don't believe so none of tears she use, or something else she use and wash off the feet, you know, but that is for the next conversation. But you know the things that them have to make the Bible be symbolical, them can't make it be too, you know, raw. But you don't know what I talk about. That's just my perspective. That's just how I feel. And she come and she wash off him face. And the man say, here the holy people them now, the highly Christian, the highly scriptural, churchical people now to Jesus. Jesus, you know who that is? They are supposed to be non-judgmental, you know. And when the prostitute come into the church, they might judge her, you know. That's why Jesus tell them, so they are hypocrite, you know. The man said, look here, when I come in here, you never greet me, oh, she greet me. And she come and she greet me. I could have feel her heart and feel her presence. Yeah. And give her the aisle for 19 feet. And he was right, because when the little thing did go on in the audience when they made for choose Barabbas and Jesus. You know, to say she had the only one stay so in the crowd that said Jesus, everybody else afraid for say that she alone. Jesus knows that she gonna be loyal. Jesus know. So when him rise, that she did go 19 feet because what? It was her character. Your character, who you is, it can't fake. So uno could have vote from now till morning come. The character, the individual will show you. Says, when time to vote, you know, not gonna get no results. It kind of sad, but I just saw the thing said. And you don't have to hate the person once you understand that. Do you understand? You don't have to hate it, because guess what? You are forgot looking at yourself now once you say, no, this is not meaningful. Because I don't have the power and the people have the power. Don't ever think say them have the power, I don't have the power because I want to vote them in. I'm going to use it as an example for sure, no. Yeah. So Judas did have a sellout mentality and a sellout character. Because I'm all up in a film degree and all up in a film, this and all up in a film title. Thing there was a coward and the girl was loyal. So you see it? Authenticity and character and integrity do not go with titles. It's just who it is. You can put somebody right there that is a manager for an organization, and you can put on $5,000 there and she can take it away. Like the girl, let me tell you, so they look good and come up at the store and she take it away. You can put a prostitute who have integrity and character and she will never touch it. But here a society say, she a prostitute, so she a thief. No, she a tap. Nice girl, clean skin, every teeth in her hair. She will not steal. Authenticity don't deal with titles, my love. Character don't deal with titles. So everybody is human. You can't rehearse it. So even if the prime minister even if the PMP come and the GLP come or whoever come, them are going to go back to themselves when the election done, because it was not them. The person who is them are going to be consistent and them are going to reel into it. You can go to one class or one session, and them tell you something for you. They say, if I know you, you're not going to do it. They say, if I you, you're going to consistently do it. You see, sometimes I see some man out there and them wild and them have bag of woman and bow them a gyalis. And the moment them find a woman with them love, they see them stop. The truth is they weren't gyalis from day one. Them just see that falla, because them want to feel good. You know why? If them was gyalis, they wouldn't stop. Yeah, they wouldn't stop. They would have still do it. People might say, oh, sometimes one grow. No. Sometimes one grow into self when one finds self. The truth is, we grow into self. Not everybody really grow into self. But I believe that you must grow into yourself. When you grow into self, you start accept yourself, you start realize the pattern and the things them what you did do, it wasn't of you. It's for validation. So my authenticity and your carrier's authenticity. You don't care about me with that sit down yourself and say, alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say if I can talk little sawfish. Backside by the time I look the bass and my voice have to come up back. Yeah. I used to smoke. But why I used to smoke? I used to smoke because I see my mother deal with stress and situations with smoking. Me stop. And when me did stop, she did still do it. Me stop. It just goes to show say it wasn't of me. No, when me do for deal with situation, me cry. And when me don't cry, me go dance. You see that? But I was following my mother. Her patterns. Because you don't know some of our parents' ways and so. But you see, when you find yourself, is when you can live outside of your parents. Meaning that you don't have to live up to everything that they did or what they say. Because when you grow up and understand right from wrong. When we did younger, my mother used to say, if a baby good looking, if you say the baby ugly. And if the baby not so good looking. What? If a baby good looking, if you say the baby ugly, or else the baby are going to become ugly if you say it pretty. Miss, I wish I get that from Miss. Me, I wonder if a joke she make. Me, I go back and ask her when time me done this audio. Me, I go ask her, Mommy, what did it mean when you did say that? Or a joke you did I make? So sometimes your parents tell you things. I'm just saying this to say a foolish. I'm just say a while ago and a rubbish what she saying. But I'm just sure that sometimes my parents tell us things based on their experience and based on their narrative. But you, when you find yourself, you are going to carve your own destiny for yourself. And as I said, you are a combination of your mother and your father, your ancestral bloodline. You can't take it out of you. You operate from your bloodline. Say, I call a lion operate from the lion bloodline. You are going to operate from the Chin bloodline if you are Chinese. If you are Manchu bloodline, you're going to operate from Manchu bloodline. If you are Tina bloodline, you're going to operate from the Tina bloodline. You're going to operate from the Roden and the Miller bloodline because it's in me. So you can't get rid of that. Along with your personal experience. Not your mother, your experience where you got through it in one combined. When you go school, when you go everywhere, combine together and make you. And that's why you unique. And guess what? Nobody never tried your partner, your journey. Yeah? No one. So when you go back to say, even if you are adopted, and you don't know your parents, you best believe that you are operating from your ancestral bloodline, from your core, along with the experience from the adopted parents combined together. But you see your core, your inner core, if you have a coward blood, a coward gene, a brave blood, all of these things, a jovial, you're not going to change even if you're that's all right. My daughter wanted a cat. She loved cat. So I'm going to my mother, we see one little cat. I said, I don't want no cat coming here if it's not a male cat. Because I can't with a female cat them. So them look on it, my brother says a male, she can't carry it go. When we look, the cat is a female. My daughter will buy clothes for the cat. Me buy food, all kind of something. I realize that the cat like it want breed. It want get pregnant every month. So mommy come up here. And she was like, Money, how are the cat there? So I say, Mama, give her the cat a breed. Breed the cat does up pregnant every minute. And I can't bother and one bag of cleaning up and the cat now every minute the cat breed. I say one cat the over there so it get pregnant but not like that one. You hear my mother watch her? You never know so the gene in the cat, the pregnant gene in the cat. Yeah, it no matter if you take her from out there so she go come, no matter how much dear food you buy girl. She go get pregnant all the time because I saw her mother say she come from the breed up gene will love breed. So even though she not grow down there so and you take her as a baby and bring her come, you can't take out the gene out her. That's what mommy said. And same time Kingman laugh and it's true. Anyway, you put Queen Simone, anyway, put me in Afghanistan, I go be Queen Simone. Even if me try to adapt to feed them something, me have a core and an inner thing in me where I go come out, I go find a way for come out. Because what we do is battle and fight with ourselves, you know. That's why when we're in organizations and certain workplaces, we cuss out, we're miserable because we can't be ourselves there. But you can get a job where you can be yourself, you know. Don't believe say you can't get a job where you can be, because it's not everybody really goal oriented and up to this goal thing, you know, and want to go off on a dream, you know, but you can get a job where you can be yourself, you know. And if you say you can't find that, you can create one for yourself too. The thing about us is that like we have some teachers, they're teacher by profession, but they're not teachers at heart. So they're in positions that was not ordained for them based on their gene and based on what they should be doing. But only you can tap into self and find yourself. Only you can do that. Only you can look into it and know that. Me looking at myself and tap into myself. And if you see you now do certain things again and you don't miss it, it wasn't you. No, it was not. It was you following a pattern and following the norm and following what you see in your environment. But you see, whenever you find self, you can't change that. That's how you're born. You can't change that. You could have deal, because guess what? You can't, the bloodline done in you. Done in you already. So my authenticity is not one thing we have to joke with. It is a spiritual connection with your purpose. And it's a spiritual connection to tap into self. And you are connected to the universe. So when you want to go today, share this with a friend. Share this with the family, with the matey, with the ex-husband, with the ex this, with the ex that. Share it with everybody. And just know, say, you cannot rehearse authenticity. So, and celebrating the mistakes. Have an authentic life. God bless you. And I salute the authenticity in you all. Mwah!